Hello, everyone. This is Ruby, a single parent who once had a beautiful family. This story is about how my husband lost the love of his wife and children. It happened a while back, and I'm already on the road to recovery. I wanted to share my story so that no one makes the mistakes I did. I'm an avid painter and have always loved art. I've been passionate about it since I was a child, inspired by my mother, who was a painter herself. Although she never made it big, I admired her work. We came from a humble background, with my father being the breadwinner. Despite not working, my dad cherished and praised my mom for taking care of our family. Naturally, I assumed that love and respect were enough for a good marriage. I was wrong. I was a shy, introverted kid in school with no friends. My grades were okay, but nothing special. My dream was to go to art school, and my parents supported me unconditionally. My life was set until I met Chris in high school. Chris and I studied together for a few years without interacting. One day, he approached me. "Hello, you're Ruby, right? I'm Chris, your classmate. I don't think we talked before." "Hi, Chris. What's up?" "Actually, I need a favor. I've seen your sketches in the school locker, and I must say, you're extremely talented." "Thank you. I'm glad you like them. It's Mother's Day next week, and I was thinking of giving her some of your sketches. Can you please sketch my mom? In return, I can help you with your math homework for a week." "I'd be happy to help, Chris. I actually hate math, so I'm good with the arrangement." "Great. How about we meet a coffee shop for the exchange? The treat is on me." I was ecstatic that someone found my sketches interesting enough to make them a gift. That's how I started spending time with Chris. Our meetings at the coffee shop quickly turned into dates. Chris was a straight-A student with a bright future, and I was flattered that he made time for me. He stood up against bullies and was loved by everyone. It was easy to love him. Chris dreamed of getting a business degree and taking his father's small company to the next level. It's my dream to take my father's business to the next level. I'm so proud of what he's created, and one day, I hope to make it even more successful. And I'm sure you will. I have faith in you. You'll definitely get into your dream college. I hope you get to study art and remain passionate about it. You have lots of potential. I connect with you because of your passion for art. I guess we're similar in many ways. I love that you value my passion. You've accompanied me to all my competitions and stood by me for so long. I remember when I won a prize for painting, you cheered the loudest. I was happy to have such a supportive boyfriend. He introduced me to his family before our prom, and I liked them immediately. They were great parents to Chris. I developed a close relationship with his mom, Tammy, and we hung out a lot before I left for art school. Chris joined a prestigious college as a business major, and we were both following our dreams. I even took him to meet my parents on Christmas, and they loved him as much as I did. Sadly, when I was still in college, my parents passed away in a car accident. I was devastated. Chris was my rock through it all, helping me arrange the funeral and calming me down during panic attacks. Despite the pain and grief, I thought I could rely on him for anything. But I was wrong. 6 months after my parents passed away, I found out I was pregnant. It was a mix of happiness and anxiety. I had just lost my parents and didn't know how I was going to take care of a baby. My studies were taxing and balancing everything became difficult. Tammy moved closer to help babysit my child while I was in college. Chris's father was in a different state, so he didn't mind if Tammy lived with me. With everything in place, we looked forward to the birth of our baby boy. My family supported me whenever I needed it. However, after my son Daniel was born, everything came crashing down. I had a traumatic delivery and struggled to recover. In the end, I had to drop out of college. Postpartum depression and physical problems made it impossible for me to study. I was heartbroken, but my son needed me to be okay. Tammy and Chris were my biggest support during this time. However, Chris slowly became resentful. "You know, I can't help but think this is your fault. I can rarely go out anymore while you're having a great time being home with Daniel. I'm the one working hard to provide for the two of you." "I'm sorry, Chris. You know I'm still in recovery. I'm trying my best to look for a job, but Daniel is very young, and we can't afford a babysitter. Tammy is already working hard to help. Just give me some time. I will find something." "What job will hire you anyway? You have a useless degree that won't get you a job. You already spent most of your inheritance on medical bills. You're literally useless right now." "Don't say that, Chris. You knew studying art was my passion. You were so supportive of me when I joined college. I never imagined I would be in this situation. If there was any way I could help you, I would. Just give me a few months to find a job." Chris simply got up and left. That night, I cried a lot after putting Daniel to sleep. His words kept ringing in my ears. I decided to start looking for jobs as soon as possible, no matter what. I was determined to ease Chris's burden. Chris later called and apologized for his behavior, explaining that he was feeling down and his friends were putting ideas into his head. I forgave him immediately. Within a week, I found a job. It didn't pay much, but it was enough for the time being. Cammy took up most of the childcare while I worked. I made Chris quit his job so he could concentrate on his studies. I didn't want him to overwork himself while studying. Times were rough, but we made it work. Chris slowly changed his behavior toward me and promised to take care of me when he became financially independent. I told him that I loved him and only wanted him to achieve his dreams. After Chris graduated from college, he took over the family business. His father, who was suffering from a heart condition, passed away within a year of Chris joining the business. Chris did his best to improve the company, and his efforts were slowly starting to pay off. I had to quit my job to look after Daniel because Tammy was grieving, and we didn't want to burden her with Daniel's care. Chris was making enough money to support us, so he wasn't bothered by my decision to stay home. Soon his business really took off, and he achieved his dream. I was happy for him and organized big celebrations to honor his success. One day, I approached Chris and expressed my desire to return to art school. I still had some inheritance money left that could pay for 1 year, and after that, I planned to take up jobs to fund my education. However, Chris was not receptive to the idea. "Why do you want to go back to school? An art degree is useless anyway. It's not going to help you get a job. I think you shouldn't waste money on this." "This was my dream, Chris. You know I wanted to become a painter. You achieved your dream. What about me?" "Well, my dream is bringing in the money. Yours is just a useless hobby. What good will that do for us?" "My friends will laugh at me for your dumb degree. I have to maintain our standards. You should be a housewife. Daniel needs you more." I was stunned and didn't know how to react. We argued for days without reaching a resolution. However, I was preparing myself to prove him wrong. I wanted to become successful and achieve my dream. Sadly, this was never to be, as I found out I was pregnant again, this time with a baby girl. Chris became even more insistent that I stay at home, arguing that he worked long hours and the kids needed someone at home. Reluctantly, I agreed to focus on my children. They were my world, and I was willing to do everything for them. My second birth was less traumatic, but managing a toddler and a baby was extremely difficult. Chris was absolutely no help. All he did was work and complain about being tired. He never looked after the kids. I was surprised when Chris finally proposed to me. I thought he was trying to improve, and that made me happy. We had a big wedding, which was extremely fun to plan. Chris pampered me throughout the process, and I believed he was doing it to make me happy. It turned out he was doing it to maintain his image of a loving husband. After the wedding, it was as if I no longer existed to Chris. He worked all day in his office, and there were no date nights or even family nights. He never picked up after himself and only ordered me around. The kids missed their dad, who wanted to be left alone when he was at home. I never asked him for help after he ignored my requests in the first year. However, my children's pain was getting to me. One day, I said, "Chris, why don't we have a family outing this weekend? The kids really miss you. You know I have a business meeting this weekend. I'm busy. But you need to make time for your family, Chris. We're important too. Daniel has been crying for you. You even missed his poem recital. What can I do, Ruby? I don't have the luxury to stay at home with them like you do. At least someone has to earn money, right? A failure like you wouldn't understand. I suggest you stop telling me what to do." "Chris, what is wrong with you? Why are you insulting me like that? You know I wanted to go back to college, but you didn't let me." "Of course I didn't. Why would I let you waste money on that? You were better off investing it in my business. Look how much money it's bringing us." Extremely hurt by what he had said, I started to see past his neglect over the years. However, it really hurt when he insulted me like that. It made me feel worthless. I should have walked away from him, but I didn't. I wanted my children to have both parents under one roof. I thought Chris was just stressed and would apologize later. The apology never came. As the years passed, the kids grew older and started to notice Chris's behavior. They were no longer attached to him. Gloria never experienced him as a loving parent, so she had no attachment to her dad. Daniel remembered his dad being more loving in the past, but the disappointment of Chris missing every milestone quickly added up. I tried everything to make the bad feelings disappear. I begged Chris to pay more attention to the children. You need to make time for the kids, Chris. I'm already working hard and looking after them. I'm the only one taking up parental duties. I know you don't want me anymore, but the kids are suffering. They've already become detached from you. I know how to be a parent, Ruby. I'm the one feeding the three of you. You don't have to lecture me about improving our relationship. When Daniel became a teenager, he started to resent his dad. I tried to make him understand that Chris loved them, but he wouldn't believe me. All his friends had fathers who were present in their lives, and he felt like he was missing out. I was there for all his events and achievements, but he wanted his dad there too. One night, while we were having dinner, Daniel confronted Chris. Hey Dad, are you free this weekend? Gloria has been pestering us for a picnic. The weather is getting better, and it's the perfect time. Yes, it would be a great opportunity to hang out together. I'll make all the preparations. What do you think, Chris? No can do. I'm going golfing with my buddies. Can't change my plans. It's one day, and you can't make time for us? Why did you even become a dad if you didn't want to be around us? Watch your mouth, Daniel. I am your father, and you will respect me. I actually have work to do instead of sitting around like your loser mother. Ruby, what are you teaching my children? They don't even respect me anymore. I thought you just failed in your career, but it turns out you can't even be a good mother. Stop insulting Mom. She's a way better parent than you are. How do you expect her to have a career when you never helped her out? I'm not blind, you know. I saw what happened all these years. Stop it, Daniel. There's no use telling him these things. We have Mama, and that's enough. We can just go out with Mom and Grandma. See, at least one of you has some sense. I hope that ends this stupid discussion. It's okay, kids. I will take you out for a picnic. We'll plan something without Dad. I didn't want to make Daniel or Chris angry, but I noticed that Gloria, who had remained apathetic towards her father, did not take his side at all. She simply didn't care for his time or attention. I always thought it was my fault. I could have fought harder with Chris to spend more time with us. But he never listened to me. By then, I also found out he had been cheating on me with one of his business friends. I didn't confront him. I knew it would be useless. Daniel graduated high school and left at the first opportunity, joining a prestigious college to study software engineering. Gloria, however, was determined to follow in my footsteps. She was an even better artist than me and was adamant about joining art school. Daniel supported her, encouraging her to go for it, but I knew Chris would be furious. When the conversation finally happened, it went like this. Gloria, you will be graduating this year. Do you have a plan? I mean, what are you even good at? Don't talk to her like that. She is a good student, Chris. Well, I'm going to art school. Don't worry. I don't expect you to know what I am good at, Dad. I have Mom, Daniel, and my teachers for that. Art school. Ruby, did you fill my daughter's head with your nonsense again? Gloria, you should know better than to waste your life like your mother. Do you want to be a failure like her? Mom failed only because she had a husband like you. Thankfully, I have all the support and talent I need to be successful. Don't talk to me like that. There is no way I'm paying for this useless degree. Well, you don't have to. My teachers say I would get a good scholarship in no time. I don't care if you don't support me. It's nothing new. Calm down, guys. Chris, Gloria is really good at what she does, even better than me. Please try to be supportive this one time. Chris just kept shouting at me for spoiling his children, again calling me a failure in front of Gloria. After all these years of abuse, I had enough. I sent Gloria to her room before tearing into my husband. I told him that I was tired of him not appreciating me at all. I am tired of your verbal abuse, Chris. You have been a horrible husband to me. The only reason I stayed was because of the children. If I had known you'd be such a bad father, I would have walked away sooner. Don't you dare call me a bad father. I'm the one putting food on the table. You're all nothing without me and my money. I would have made something of myself if you didn't stop me. You can keep your money, Chris. I don't need it. I'm getting a divorce after Gloria graduates. I am done with you. You can't leave me after everything I have done for you. I deserve better from everyone. Done what, Chris? Cheat on me with your colleague? I know it all, Chris. There's no need for you to be a victim. I am the victim here. You deserve nothing, and you definitely don't deserve me. Chris was absolutely dumbstruck by my onslaught. When I was done talking, he had his head in his hands and said nothing, as if he didn't care anymore. The next few days, I started to prepare for my exit. I talked to Tammy, Daniel, and Gloria about my decision. All of them were supportive of me. I'm sorry he did this to you, Ruby. I don't know where I went wrong with him. His father would be disappointed with him. I can't believe he did this to you, Tammy said. Tammy, it's not your fault. You have been nothing but kind to me and my children. Chris is the only one responsible for his behavior. I served Chris divorce papers just after Gloria's graduation. Chris acted like he didn't see it coming, begging me to reconsider and promising he would do better. He approached me and said, Ruby, please don't go through with the divorce. Give me a chance. I know I messed up. I still love you a lot, Ruby. I want to get better. Even the kids hate me. Don't leave me like this. You have made your bed, Chris, and now you have to lie in it. I stayed for too long. I gave you plenty of chances. I can't do it anymore. This marriage was over when you stopped putting in effort and cheated on me. I don't love her, Ruby. She was just an escape from the stress. She doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sorry I wasn't supportive of you. I can change if you just have faith in me. I don't care anymore, Chris. You have taken away every last bit of dignity I had. It's time to leave you for good.